everyone, welcome to this video in which I will be telling you my top 9 tips so that you can get all 9s in GCSEs. A bit of background information about me. I did my GCSEs in 2019 and I have a lot of wisdom and information to share with you that I wish I would have known when I was doing my GCSEs so that you can do the best that you possibly can. Now before I get on to these tips, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Barbara from First Rate Tutors for making this video possible. I will get on to her amazing English course later in my first tip, which is to make the most out of online resources. I don't know what I would have done without YouTube and just generally the internet for my GCSEs, because I'm primarily an audio and visual learner and YouTube just has so much good information in the form of channels such as free science lessons, Mr. Bruff, Mr. Saleh. I will link them down below so that you can go and check them out too. One thing that I wish I had when I was doing my GCSEs was a course so that information wasn't just all over the place like on YouTube and you don't know where to look specifically because anyone can put information out there, which is why I'm so glad that Barbara reached out to me to show me her new GCSE English course. Now this has many videos comprehensively diving into all your set text that you'll be learning in GCSE English. She has taught so many students who have got grade 9s in their GCSEs and you'll get the best tips from her which you will be able to learn your GCSE English without the distraction of ads so that you can see your progress as you go through and be firm in the belief that your education is in safe hands. And I would definitely recommend investing in products such as courses like Barbara's course. As for my BMATs, which is a medical entrance examination, I also bought one of these online courses and I found that having the information laid out for you logically and step by step in a high quality way without any ad distraction was really helpful in me focusing and understanding the actual content. So I without a doubt would recommend Barbara's new English course, which you can check out in the description or in the comments below. Another online resource is Anki flashcards. My second tip is to not get too hung up on making the perfect notes. I'd always look at my friends and see their perfectly made flashcards for every single topic and their perfectly constructed notes. The process of writing down the notes helps ingrain it and helps your brain process the information when you learn it at first. But when you come to revising it, there's so many more efficient ways in which you can revise, such as using CGP guides or Pearson revision guides, which I have a couple here still from my GCSEs. For the exam, I just go over the harder topics and see the key points, and they always use the specification too, so everything you need is honestly in here. With that being said, make sure that you do have good organisation. Generally, I liked using file binders and I also use plastic pockets for my humanities courses because those courses didn't have CGP study guides, so I could just easily flip to my own notes. And I also used a lot of these plastic files to be able to contain my past papers or books and stuff for each of my subjects, so I wouldn't have to waste time trying to find the things that I needed. Furthermore, I really liked using these big display books, whatever you call them, to keep my mind maps, because these sort of mind maps were really good for information heavy courses such as geography, where I put a lot of my nicely made notes so I could just review them straight before the exam, and that would be enough to be able to remember the information in my head during the exam. Don't be too hung up about being super organised and having your flashcards all in order and everything, because I just use one big black book to write all my notes. It was mainly a process of me understanding of information, so I'd go on YouTube and watch some videos about a certain topic of English. So if you get Barbara's course, you can watch her videos and get a book like this one, which I got from Wilco, and just write down the key points such as these sort of notes, and You can make them as colourful, as nice, as scruffy as you want to. Sometimes I just go through my notes and really scruffily jot down things that I wanted to remember. Sometimes I'd make the effort of making them neat, but it's not like I look back on them too much anyway. Also, getting these plastic wallets will make sure that your work isn't damaged and you can just, refer to it really quickly. So this is one of my history note poster things. Another thing to do with organisation is to make sure that you're well organised with your life in general. This was the actual diary which I had used during my GCSE year. It's one of those diaries which has the days of the weeks on one side and on the other side it's just plain note-taking paper. This was actually the week of my mocks, I think. I just write down all the times for my exams and other things that I needed to be at, and on the right I'd write like a to-do list or some hard questions which I found that day, just anything that I wanted to also get done that week. So I really recommend you to buy one, and I also have one for this year, so I just have the days and then all the things that I need to do and other information on the other side. Now moving on to my fourth tip, it's to treat your education like a full-time job. And in this sense, I mean to take it seriously. I once heard a saying that 20% of your work goes into 80% of the final result. So if you're spending too much time on one homework, then take a step back and realise that maybe it shouldn't be taking me this long. Reevaluate your working methods and try to work on it when you're in a better state of mind. What you do during lessons and your attitude towards learning will be really noticed by your teachers, and I'd really recommend you to do this even if you don't have CAGs. If you take it seriously, then it will automatically reflect in your actual grades. The fifth tip is that everyone's way of studying is unique and you cannot compare your way of studying one subject with another person's way. I definitely had different methods for studying different subjects. So for some content heavy courses, I like to make flashcards or write notes to remember them, and for some theoretical courses such as maths and sciences, I would just do lots of past paper questions. Personally, I'm more of an auditory and visual learner. That is why I loved YouTube videos so much, but you could be a reading textbook kind of guy, so it definitely depends on your own method. See what you enjoy doing the most. There are also universal tricks that essentially work for everyone. The idea of repeatedly testing yourself and actively recalling information, as well as teaching other people. Now, teaching other people was really emphasised by my physics teacher, who said he used to get a toy or something and then be like, so this is what this physics concept is, and then he would know if he had the right sort of information in his head, and if he didn't, then he'd go back to fill in the gaps in his knowledge. I think that cramming is also good. Make sure you know your exam timetable so you can tailor your revision times to the next exam in the foreseeable future. Now, my sixth tip is to not compare yourself to other people in whatever capacity. And this is because some people say they study like 7-8 hours a day. You've got to do that during Easter to make sure you're fully prepared. But I remember when I was doing my GCSEs, sometimes I just do 4 hours of really solid concentration, but just 4 hours a day. That means that it's really quality over quantity, and you need to make sure that you're doing the right things in those, 3 or 4 hours that you set aside each day for revision. That you're going over past papers, marking them yourself, and reading your notes and trying to teach other people. And my seventh tip is to make the most out of pockets of free time. So if you commute to school, maybe download some podcasts from podcast makers such as Seneca Learning, or some audio books about your English set text, for instance. So you're not just wasting that time and you're consolidating that information. On my runs during the summer, I would listen to some Seneca Learning biology and chemistry podcasts to revise for my upcoming mocks after the summer, and that was quite helpful. And when you have breaks and lunch times, you don't always have to have a long study session for it to be effective. You could just study for like 10 minutes and watch a YouTube video. My 8th tip is to make the most out of your friends and your teachers. There were so many countless times in which I'd be stuck on something such as a maths question and I'd have to text one of my friends to explain, and that was really helpful. And at the same time, just be generous with your own time, and that will mean that you will also have people that are glad to help you too. You should spend the exam season as an opportunity to serve and support your other friends, and learning together is sometimes more fun than learning by yourself. You could arrange with a friend to go to the library together for a study session, or if you don't have any friends, you could always watch a YouTube study with me to get motivated. And definitely reach out to your teachers if you're stuck on a topic or on a question, because they're there to help you and teach you, so you might as well make the most of it. My 9th tip is just called pie charts. I did draw some beautiful pie charts which I will show you here. This is what we think work should look like, a whole pie chart of work. But this is actually what work should look like to get the best results. And this is ideal, which is why I drew a smiley face, because it's 25-ish% work. And the rest of it, I don't know if you can read it, but it says good sleep, good food, exercise, friends and family. Be in bed for like 8.5 hours so you can get that 8 hours of sleep a day. Make sure you look after yourself, and if you don't look after yourself, you're not going to be able to do the best in your exam. And if you feel too stressed, then don't go into one topic in depth if you're short on time. Just look after yourself. There were times in my GCSEs which I woke up probably like 5 in the morning to just revise, and I think that was a bit necessary just to like make sure I knew some like last minute facts and things. But if you plan your revision time well, then you won't have to do that when you're doing your GCSEs. So in conclusion, thank you for your attention. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if you found this helpful. I believe in you. Go out there and work hard, but also have fun. Bye!